Hey guys, it's 101R Smith and I am back. Today we're going to be taking a look at something I have been working on, waiting on, and trying to put together all spring. And it is the Perfect Grade Perfect Strike Gundam from Gundam Seed HD Remaster. Now, what is this? This is a kit that has been 15 years in the making. Obviously, Gundam Seed came out in 2002, and while it was polarizing to say the least, one of the more successful Gundam properties to come out in the 2000s, the Strike Gundam got its first Master Grade at the end of the season in October 2003, and got a Perfect Grade October of 2004. And somewhere around summer of 2005, it got the Sky Grasper with the Ale Striker pack. Now, even in the original manual, it was always hinted that the other two packs were coming, and while there were prototypes shown, we never got them. I guess the Sky Grasper didn't sell very well on itself, and they were nervous to put it out, so Bandai just never did. It was never talked about. If you wanted all three, you either had to kind of modify the no grade 1/60th striker pack system into the perfect grade, or a third party was your best bet for 15 years. Until last fall, when they decided, okay, we're gonna come out with a perfect strike and we're gonna retool the Strike Gundam and come out with one perfect package. Now, you also could get this in a premium Bandai all three packs if you already have an existing Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. Now, I do. In fact, it was one of the very first videos I ever put up on YouTube. I kind of tried to do a kind of stop motion build of it, and I wasn't very successful. And that was my 21st birthday present. And it's kind of crazy to think 5 years later, I'm now reviewing Gunpla instead of trying to do kind of wonky, intricate, creative arts, and it's just kind of nuts to think that just in 5 years' time, things can change so rapidly. I did get a lot of questions both on Instagram and Facebook. Reggie, why should I get the stripe? What's the difference? That's one of the reasons why this is going to be strung up into two parts, because A, if I let you guys have it, this would be over 40 minutes, and I don't need to entrap you for that long. Secondly, I do think that there is enough on its own to talk about, because there are some stark differences. And also, I wanted to do a Perfect Grade Strike review for those who just aren't interested in the striker packs and want to know what it's like to have the Perfect Grade Strike. And since it's kind of a remaster of something I already built, why not? Now, before we begin, I know I've been rambling, but hear me out. I am offering something for this review and a lot of reviews going forward. If you're interested in the Perfect Grade Strike, you can get this at Gundam Planet. Gundam Planet is one of the more premier Gundam sites to buy off kits, impeccable customer service and satisfaction. If you're interested in this kit, you can get it right now. They just have a restock, and with using my unique code, you can get this for 10% off, which should go a mile away. So if you're wanting a perfect grade in these troubling times and want to pass some more time off until the world kind of gets back to normal, there you go. Here's my unique code and you can get this. But now, on to the review of the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. All built up, and now I present to you the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam, and this thing is as great looking as it was building it 5 years ago. Being able to do this again really brings you the appreciation for a Perfect Grade kit. This, I feel, is the gold standard of a perfect grade. There have been some that have surpassed it, some have failed to meet its standards, but Strike is the perfect grade that you want. Easy build, big build, intricate pieces. Color separation is off the charts. Look is sleek and aesthetically pleasing. Just so many gimmicks that you won't see in a modern day master grade still, and this thing came out over 16 years ago. This is one of the best kits that you can have. This was, I feel, was a turning point in perfect grade kits, where instead of the long build with the main gimmick being about the inner frame, this went for trying to include all of that without the difficulty of a build of a perfect grade. And this is just a sleek and aesthetically pleasing piece of work, and it speaks for itself. Now, while the looks speak for itself, let's let the articulation do the same. As we always do, we start with the head. The head is on a double jointed neck joint and ball joint. Up, down, side to side, 360 degrees. If you want to move it, you can. You really don't have to think about it other than trying to move the head itself, and it's pretty easy. The shoulder is on its own joint and can go very far out, and indeed be pretty far-reaching on itself. And with all three joints working together, it looks immaculate. And of course, 360, no problem. This is so easy, it's child's play. Obviously, you're gonna get the basic bicep swivel, but check this out. This isn't just your basic arm. Triple jointed elbow. Bottom of the bicep, top of the bicep, and you get a little bit of articulation in the forearm. Very few kids can do these in master grade form. Just look at this. And you can even twist and move the forearm just a bit. And of course, you're gonna get those perfect grade style hands, which could be awesome or the beginning of your existence, but they exist. All digits are articulated, and you get a ball joint and you swivel in and out of the hand. Waist. Somewhat lacking, but you are going to get side to side, and if you look very closely, you'll see some silver chrome pistons on the side. Now, some of the front armor on the chest is supposed to move, but I find it highly difficult, and I actually broke one of the inside pieces into connecting the blue and the gunmetal, so those can be very difficult. Side skirts can go out, front skirts can go out, and back skirts can go out. It's all linked together like one chain. And the leg movement, Rob Van Dam, eat your heart out. The strike has you in spades with leg movement. Obviously, you're gonna get a swivel, and then with the waist, you could do like a gimmick to where you can pull a switch and you can make the legs go out even further. But look at that knee articulation. Oh my God, it is just amazing what the strike can do. The toes, still great articulation, but wait, check this out. It can move on the bottom of the thigh. That is amazing. But the toes, they get you a bit of action, but nothing too fancy. That's kind of like the one downside, but the Strike Gundam, when it comes to posing, it is top class with the ability to pose like any other kid. Honestly, up until Exia, I didn't think a Perfect Grade can match the amount of articulation that Perfect Grade Strike has. It really tried to encapsulate what it's like to be a moving human and then go way beyond that. Next up, we have weapons. First off, we're going to start with the arm Schneiders. Now, unfortunately, while a lot of the kit can do two tones, this cannot. This will come straight in gunmetal. You will have to paint the blade silver, which I did with a metallic silver Gundam marker. Nothing too fancy, it doesn't plug into anywhere. The strike just holds it with the articulated hands, and the strike can hold it like no other. The armored Schneiders were just kind of like one of the cool additions to the Strike Gundam. Makes it just a little bit different than RX-78, but just has enough capabilities to handle on its own. The Schneiders, you're really not going to be using them that much, but still, that's one of the things that makes the Strike unique. And just like in the anime, you can slop them in the side skirts and close them up. You slide it in, and you close the pocket inside. So it was cool that they can recreate that gimmick. Next up, you are going to have the beam shield and beam rifle. One of the lore things about Gundam Seed is that a lot of the kids and a lot of the mobile suits have physical shields because for some reason beam sabers can't clash with each other. They don't have a recoiling effect like other Gundam suits, so unfortunately they need to have physical shields, which they try to do something different, but I don't find that kind of stupid. The shield connects to the back of the hand. You get two combinations of being able to hose it. I like being able to hold it the old traditional with the side connection and the handle holding it on. It can do the strike pose on the ground, but it doesn't really have a lot of friction to hold it there. It doesn't have enough pieces to kind of like hold it on itself, but that's just kind of what it's like. Now here we are with the original Strike Gundam Perfect Grade from 2004 that I built 5 years ago. Pretty much the main reason why I bought this kit was to replace this one, because this one is slowly falling apart on me, and I wasn't the most adept builder in 2015. Now, I got a lot of questions about what's the difference? What makes it different? Do I need it? Is the Perfect Strike a definitive collection? Do I need it? Is the original Strike obsolete? Yes and no. It's all about options, but when it comes to the straight build of both kits, I will try to discuss and determine the differences and try to guide you in what kind of look you're going for, because ultimately, when it comes to the suits, it's all about the look and what you want it to be. Now, in comparison from the 2004 to the 2020 release, the head armor is completely different. Every single part outside of the red and the yellow are completely brand new, and the clear parts on the head have a more deeper clear blue than the more kind of transparent blue that was used in the 2004 release. So the head, the inner frame of the head is the same, armor is completely different. I find the head more akin to the original Master Grade, while the head was more of the version RM. Chest, top parts are completely different because it has the kind of silver-plated pieces sticking out. The shoulders are roughly the same. There's only two pieces that are completely different, which add a silver trim so you can have the silver poking out of the shoulders. Otherwise, for the most part, they're completely the same. With the arms, again, most of the part is the same, but they do add a few brand new pieces in order to accentuate the gold metallic parts that are in the kit. Try to give it a remastered look. Legs, for the most part, again, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, majority is the same. The two major differences are the shin armor and the sides of the triceps. Those are completely different and brand new, again, to accentuate more of the armor and try to build it up. The knees are also different because instead of having gunmetal as the inner frame, it has silver-plated pieces in order to accentuate the armor. Ultimately, what you're looking for and the differences aren't that great. It's all about what kind of look you want. You want the old classic Strike look, like the Master Grade from 2003, or you want the more modern take, like from 2012. That's kind of what you're looking for. Both kits are still outstanding. Both kits are still outstanding on their own, and the differences are very minute. It's all about look, surface detail, and what you want to get. You can still get the Strike on its own, but if you want the package, you want all three Striker packs, the Perfect Strike is the way to go. Now, for the other little nitpicky accessories that you get, as this is a Perfect Grade, you're going to get an LED system. And that is not changed from 2004. In fact, I still even found 2004 to be lackluster. I wish they had built in a new LED system to make the head and the eyes light up a bit brighter and more prominent. Fortunately, they stuck with the same old build your own LED, put it in the head, you're done. So that's disappointing. And they also included the open hatch gimmick that was prominent in a lot of the older Perfect Grade kits. This one kind of feels phoned in a little bit. I mean, the shoulder parts are great that they can open up. Obviously, you can open up the cockpit to see Kira or Mu, in this case, kind of playing around in the OS. But this definitely feels ham-fisted in there to meet that quota from the old-time Perfect Grades. In fact, the original Strike could actually have a few more hatches open. Those were taken apart in order to facilitate the new pieces that were added on into this kit. So if you're looking for that, it's there. And then finally, of course, what makes a Perfect Grade? The inner frame. The inner frame is immaculate. It's beautiful. The only difference is instead of the traditional gray, it's all molded in gunmetal, and it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But if I had to say, yes, the gunmetal does look a bit better on the Strike than its original, just plain inner frame. And, you know, it's kind of like for the straight builder, you don't have to do too much work now because all that kind of steel is kind of molded in. Obviously, you can paint this, but a lot of the work is done for you. That inner frame is just beautiful. Here we are at the end of part 1, and I gotta say, 5 years ago, I built Perfect Grade Strike as my 21st birthday present. 5 years later, at 26, this build still kicks serious ass. I know Gundam Seed is a very polarizing series, more so Destiny, but the Strike Perfect Grade is without a doubt one of the best pieces of merchandise that we got out of Gundam Seed, in my opinion. There is a part of me that kind of wishes we get a Perfect Grade Freedom Gundam, especially based on that Master Grade 2.0, but that's just wishful thinking. On its own, the Strike Gundam is top tier Perfect Grade material. You want to step into the Perfect Grade territory, you don't want to just fork down a whole bunch of money, you just want a straight build to kind of figure out if you can handle the Perfect Grade lifestyle of putting together a full-on foot-tall machine. This is it. I suggest this Perfect Grade almost above any other ones. The only comparable ones would be your Stray Bread Frame and Exia, only because I feel that Exia did finally surpass the Strike. The Strike on its own is an amazing kit, and I really implore everyone to get one and add it to your collection. In terms of the difference between the normal release and the 2020 release, very few in-between differences. Again, I'm going to reiterate, it's all about the look. Do you want a more remastered, more detailed look? Do you want something where you don't really have to put in too much work out of the box? Well, you could also go with that with the 2004 release, but you're not missing much. The only thing that you're missing when it comes to the base Gundam is the Grand Slam. I tried everywhere in my house to find it, and I couldn't find it, but it's basically a big giant sword. And the frustrating part about it is they include all the pieces except the blade itself. That is so frustrating. But honestly, I highly recommend the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam, both the 2004 release and the 2020 release. But we gotta get to what makes 2020 special, because that is where the big bang of your buck is going to. Come back in a few weeks, probably a week or two, and we will discuss the full package of what is the Perfect Strike Gundam. Now, also, I was kind of wondering, what do you guys think of the new setup? I got a 4K rig now, new lighting box, built-in LEDs, the whole works, and I really thought, trying to figure it out, because oh my god, this camera has so many options. I am just lost in it, and I'm still trying to fiddle with it, and this is the first thing I ever shot. So I'm just kind of curious what you guys think of the new presentation. Let me know in the comment below, and I will try to get the Striker packs to you as soon as possible. It's 1 Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.